Hi guys, Joey again. Welcome to the new chapter Blockchain and Mining. Before we start with today's class, I would like to tell you which videos we are going to include in this chapter. The first one will be about what exactly is blockchain technology. In the second video, we'll talk about the old world of our governmental institutions, also the banks and how they are structured. We also talk about how the blockchain will bring a totally new structure in this world and why this is necessary. The third video deals with how Bitcoin cannot work without this blockchain technology. The fourth video is mostly about how we can use Bitcoin. And the last one is about the mining. What exactly does that mean? What do we use for it? What kind of networks are existing currently? Okay, let's start. As we have been used for decades, institutions have always been ruling our society and as well operating as an intermediary party within the process of all our financial transactions and official exchanges of value. There is always a record kept of the ledger in the institutions following the protocols of the system. You can say the management of the ledger is 100% in control of the institutions. Think about banks, city halls, universities, and so on. Every single one of these institutions combined make our system as a whole. As everyone yet experienced, the system is rather inefficient, and we cannot lend fully our trust in the current system. We could say that our trust has been violated several times. Also, the price we pay in order to keep the system running is skyrocketing. Overhead costs are really high. In Belgium, we've been pampered and supported very well by the system. As West European country, we belong to one of the most prosperous regions in the world. Our institutions in operation are working perfectly and rather trustworthy. In developing countries, the corruption is the standard. But we have to be able to look at things from a global perspective, since blockchain networks are operating without borders. You have to see the world as a village. You can probably imagine that proving ownership rights is a lot harder as a rightful owner in, let's say, Nigeria than in Belgium. Then we speak about certain transfers of value. This could perfectly be arranged by the blockchain technology in the future. Now, how does this work exactly? Let's have a look. The blockchain technology currently finds itself in the phase of which the internet was in the early 90s. The blockchain technology is a great way to make the world more efficient, faster, and safer when it comes to the transfer of value. This technology prevents things like fraud, corruption, piracy from happening at the top of the pyramid. This structure has now become a network of which everyone carries an exact copy containing of all the transfers ever made. So instead of using a central point, we now have a distributed network. A good synonym for a pyramid structure is a top-down structure. This is outdated and hopefully will soon belong to the past. The blockchain technology is also being called a trust machine. But what does the blockchain technology actually entail? As an example, let's take a company that distributes food. The employees keep track of all the financial administration in the ledger, as well as the transport registration, temperature check, expiring date, storage time, production time, etc. This ledger contains all information about the buying and selling of food that has been taken place within the company, so-called ledger or register logbook. If the company works with another company, they consult a well-trusted intermediary like an attorney or a bank for the financial transactions. Other things concerning the company's business activity can be kept track of, like the example of tracing the origin of the food, a kind of trust mark that can be trusted, and also can be checked in the distribution route of the product. In that way, the blockchain keeps track of a trustworthy accounting by means of a network of computers, where everyone, also the so-called miners, get a copy of that is being updated. For example, every 10 minutes. The blockchain is a public digital database that keeps track of every transactions that ever have been made and the so-called digital accounting system. New transactions are being added to new cash books every time there's a new block made. These are tracked onto the chain of blocks. That's where the name blockchain comes from. It's pretty easy as that. Because the whole network of participants are keeping a copy of the whole ledger that is constantly being refreshed, fraudulent actions are immediately spotted by the system and banned. What also makes this technology revolutionary is that you can use it for almost any transaction or arrangement and trust it to be correct. The blockchain technology is going to influence many sectors, one more than the other one. But it will start with the financial sector. Insurance, banks, investors, etc. But that's not the only sector too. Think about the education, for example. Who has what diploma? Is it legit? Is it real? You can see it on the public ledger of the blockchain networks. Think about the healthcare sector. Hospitals that electronically keep all the patient's medical data. The patient could become the owner of the data, which could be consulting from anywhere in the world. Medical information can be very valuable, but is also very personal. So maintaining ownership of the data is very crucial here. Or think about goods, digital contracts that can help a great deal with discovering of the origin of the goods. In this way, we could verify if it's a label, its original product. As you can see, the blockchain can help us in many ways. The possibilities are endless. Nevertheless, we need to maintain its decentralization. As you know, Bitcoin operates within a blockchain network. It is in fact the first application of this technology, which is a transfer of value as money. People can send coins to another one via this network in the form of digital units. Units that can gain a certain value based on the laws of supply and demand. The more demand, the higher the price. In other words, the new way of working with money. This new type of money has already been acknowledged and has been officially legit worldwide. So this is actually a threat to the banks. The top 50 banks around the world are currently cooperating in order to find a way to also profit from this blockchain technology. Even while this system completely undermines their old system. They want to control. While a decentralized network cannot be controlled, it's controlled by the algorithms, by mathematics. The control on the top of the pyramid simply doesn't exist because there's no pyramid. They will fail. The old institutions are now getting hot feet of this new technology, and step by step they will be taken over. They don't really understand it themselves. The current banking system is still working with a system named SWIFT, which is still working on a mainframe system that dates from the 80s. After the mainframe system, we have MS-DOS. After that, there was Windows. As you can see, their software urgently needs to be upgraded. Now everything needs to be easier, faster, and cheaper. We could say that cryptocurrency is the money from the people for the people. The trust that people put into the blockchain technology isn't very big yet, because it's something new. But the trust thus gradually keeps on growing, and more people come into contact with it. If the financial institutions keep on working in that way that they are right now, they will be eventually losing the battle. Because the trust in our current system is extremely small, and it's getting smaller and smaller day by day. In this case, we can say the trust systematically shifting from central power onto mathematical protocol utilized in the network. Let's have a small recap. Blockchain is a technology that can manage accounting in a decentralized way and that can give trust in a safe, impartial way to arrange financial transactions. So, for everything that can be traded and has a certain value, the blockchain can offer an advantage for those transactions. It can help the transfer of value in a certain cryptocurrency, as well as the transfer of property titles. There's an endless applications of this technology that can offer solutions for many problems. It is only when the people have tested this technology and have been evolved along with that it will be trusted and used. Later in this chapter, you will notice that there exists many different forms of structure of networks, and you will learn how to recognize those. That's why it's of crucial importance that we all understand how the process behind this technology works, so we can collectively use it for the better. The goal and the philosophy behind cryptocurrency is and always will be to liberate us from the central powers who rule the pyramids. We are now being trapped inside their corruption and power abuse for years and years. By using the technology the right way, we can make sure that we are no longer locked up in an algorithmic system with limitation of freedom, as this is the case right now in China. Okay, that's it for the first class. We have placed some links underneath the video about blockchain. Have a look at it for more depth explanations about how blockchain works exactly. I will see you in the next video. Thank you very much for your attention. Ciao!